guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amoy, and as you can see, this is really Amoy. And today I just thought I'd take some time to sit down and just chat. Something happened recently, just over the weekend, and I felt like I needed, I don't know if you're like me now, but me have to talk about things. Me can't keep in things. And if you don't want to talk to me, me have to let it out. Whether I'm going to write about it, whether I'm going to record a video about it. If you follow me on Instagram, you would hear me say from time to time that I usually record videos venting or talking to myself, but I don't really post them. So yeah, I need to get things out. So I've been reminiscing on this particular incident or instance or situation or circumstance, and it just brought me back to a time when I was the toxic friend. You know, not many people want to admit that they have ever been the toxic friend or they have ever displayed toxic behavior. But there was a time in life when I, Amoy, A. Adams, no Lawrence, was the toxic friend. Hear me out. So I definitely had to take some time to process this, because I didn't want to come on here talking out of pure emotion or hurt or anything like that. I wanted to be intentional. I wanted to bring across what I intend to bring across, and that is how sometimes we don't know how to manage relationships. We don't know how to navigate relationships. We just don't know how to navigate life relationally. Not many Jamaicans or not many people in general know how to value friendship or respect people, even in coming together and separating. So not many people are in tune with themselves emotionally. Not many people are very emotionally intelligent. I was one of those persons who navigated the world very broken. I was a broken girl, and I'm talking about younger years, teenage years, going through high school. I was mad at the world. I was rebellious. I was angry because things happened in my personal life, in my home situation growing up, and I blogged about this. This is on my blog. You can go check my blog out and read the backstory. But a lot happened in my life growing up where I had to live some time without my mother, and my father started doing his own little thing, and it was just chaos. As I say, you can go back and read on my blog. But it caused a lot of emotional damage, a lot of relational damage that I wasn't able to navigate or deal with on my own at the time. So as a result, it started to show up in me coping and me dealing with that hurt and brokenness began to show up in me getting piercings, tattoos, just acting out, being rebellious. That was me growing up in high school. And as I said, it was because I had wounds. I was broken. I had unforgiveness. I had resentment. I had bitterness. I was just a broken, hurt young girl. And I navigated those years with those scars on my back, with those scars on my heart. And it would show up in all my relationships. In every interaction that I had with people, it would show up. In everything that I set out to do, it would show up. So having that experience, I know how broken people navigate the world, and I know how having those wounds can impact you. So when it came to intimate relationships, I never valued myself. I never saw myself as worthy of anything great. And it's not that I didn't know that I didn't have value. It's because that what I saw affected my outlook so much that it began to shape how I view love and the type of love I should receive. And because love was so lacking in the spaces where I needed it most, I began to search for it. And the first man who could offer it, or say he could offer it, I was ready to receive it. And I needed that attention. I needed that intimacy, that love. And I settled for that. When it came to my platonic friendships, and I didn't have a lot of friends, but there's one person who was very close to me in high school, and I remember I just deal with her away. I did everything, and even the other day too, as I'm talking about this, I remember I sent her an Instagram message and I apologized because I was just thinking about everything that I had gone through and how I was processing it at the time. And I remember that she was one of them who was really affected by it, because when you're in that state of mind, you're so self-absorbed that you don't take into consideration all the people who are around you, all the people who love you, all the people who invest time into you. You don't see them as any form of significance, because you're just so caught up in your own problems and your own feelings and how you view friendships and relationships. And I remember I did everything to push her away, and that is a response. And disclaimer, I am no psychologist, I am no trained anything. I am just sharing my experiences and my opinions and my thoughts on the matter. Excuse my nosy neighbors, please. My noisy neighbors. So that was really a response to me wanting to retreat, me wanting to hide away, me wanting to just hide in my feelings. And so I pushed her away. And I remember we had a friend group in high school, and the moment I left high school, I just cut everybody off. I just stopped talking to people. I never want nothing to do with them. I just want a new space, a new life. I just want to move on. And looking back, it was a trauma response. It was a trauma response, because I find that whenever we feel exposed or whenever we feel vulnerable, we tend to run away from those who are familiar with us. We want to hide, we want to retreat, we want to go into new spaces or no spaces at all, because we don't want to feel seen, we don't want our wounds to be uncovered. And it's so funny how we think that we can run away from the issues that are deep within us. Like, how can you run away from yourself? It's impossible. And I realized that as I navigated, as I left high school and went into college and started to navigate the college spaces, I realized that the issues were still there, the behaviors were still there. I went to college and I had confrontations on top of confrontations, because to hold me did bitter and toxic and hurt and broken. If you look at me too hard, is a war. If you talk to me too hard, is a war. If you do something where me think you enough to do, is a war. And it was just one big toxic environment, one big toxic bubble, and I was the chemical, I was the problem. It took me a while to say that I was a problem, but I was a problem. And it was cut off on top of cut off, grievance on top of grievance, cuss out on top of cuss out, and people just did not want to deal with me because of my behavior. No one wanted to be my friend. I didn't put effort into being anybody's friend. If only if me like you and you don't do anything to annoy me or bother me. That's the only time we could survive as friends back then. And it never changed. And this is where I'm going to get biblical. It never changed until I surrendered my life to Christ and started to go through the process of developing a relationship with Christ. I mean, in-depth relationship with Christ. And when you go into the presence of God, or when you meet God and encounter God, transformation must happen. And transformation happens through Him showing you the faults, the things that you need to work on, and then by you taking action to work through those faults and grow through those faults. And He really put me in front of me and showed me that I was the problem, showed me the root causes and all the things that I had to deal with to overcome those types of behaviors. And the main root cause, the main issue that I was dealing with were issues with my father. And while my mother's while the period that I lived without my mother also had its effect, the major blow came from the issues that I had with my father. Yes, Papa Nichols, wanna love and cherish. He's a wonderful man, but we had some bumps in the road. And the first thing God told me that I had to do, I had to forgive my father. I had to forgive my father. And when God told me I have to forgive my father for all the things that I had him up in my heart for, it shaped me, it shook me to the core. Come here, say me not want forgiveness, me not want a friendship, me not want nothing from him, me not like him, me can't bother, me not want. And me remember, you know, God told me to forgive him, and trust me, I struggled with that. And you know what God do me? I remember we were on, I think it was the Daniel fast at the time. At that time I was attending Portmore New Testament, and we were on a fast, and we used to meet nightly at church to pray. And I remember my God church, and one man in the church looked just like my father. Just like my father. And the Holy Spirit just said to me, you're going to walk out this forgiveness tonight. You're going to walk out this forgiveness tonight. I mean, I tell you, I was so upset. I was so upset because I'm just replaying all the hurt. I mean, I replay everything when I get over. I mean, I replay. And in myself, I say, him not deserve my forgiveness. But it was what I had to do. And I remember the Lord gave me an assignment that night to go hug this random man that looked exactly like my father. Just a hug. And I did everything to avoid the man tonight. It so happened that we end up in the same prayer group. And I avoid the man, I avoid the man. I don't remember how I ended up finally hugging him, but I remember it was, I think we were gathered to do something else, and the man ended up coming right beside me. And if you know me, you know say me afraid of disobedience. I don't play with it because I know the repercussions of disobedience. I'ma say, saints, I swallow my pride that night and I hugged this random man and I bawled. Me bawl. And the Holy Spirit say, when I go home that night, write him a letter. And tell him all the ways that he has hurt you. Tell him all the ways that he has caused you pain, and tell him that you forgive him. And since that was not a letter, that was a book, because I'm a writer, I have a lot of books laying around, and I had this one notebook, and I think it was about halfway when me done write that night, and I just gave it to him. And it was never something that we had a conversation about, because my father is the type of man where him not really show feelings, and him not really show emotions. Him don't want to talk about certain things. Him just can't. And that has its own root, but we won't get into that. But yeah, I gave him that letter. He read it, and I don't know what happened on his end, but I know that on my end I was free, and I could genuinely love him. I could genuinely interact with him. I could genuinely be his daughter. And healing that relationship really helped me to navigate other relationships. It helped me to navigate even when I met my husband, how to relate to him, and how to talk to him, and how to receive his love. It helps in every area, because what people don't understand is that your family relationships are the foundational relationships of any other relationship that you will have on earth. So if your relationships in your family unit, your immediate family unit, not 100%, expect other relationships to be a struggle or to fall apart. I feel like that just frees somebody. And I kid you not when I tell you that I spent a decade of my life, 10 years, a decade of my life healing relational wounds. You must know that this thing takes work. This thing takes time. This thing takes effort. I tell my friends even now, my close friends even now, if you knew me back then, we would not be friends. We would not have this level of friendship. We would not have this depth of friendship, because I was just, I don't know, when Beenie Man said old dog like we, I was just an old dog. It's just that me never have nothing in a 2s and 3s. But me did awful. I would not want to be my friend. That's how bad it was. Another thing that I'm grateful for in my relational journeys is coming into covenant friendship. Many of you may know the story of Jonathan and David, and how they just had that special bond, that unique bond. Jonathan tell David say him love him like him own soul, like it was depth of friendship, lay my life on the line for you type of friendship. And when God blessed me with those type of people, I saw a different side to friendships and relationships. I never knew that friendship could have such meaning and depth and value. I mean, when people come into your life and set things in motion, people come into your life and act as a catalyst for all the prophecies and the promises that you have received, it really makes you put into perspective how important friendships are. A lot of us in the kingdom, we like to talk about destiny helpers, but if our destiny helpers come to us right now, we don't know how to maintain the relationships. We don't know how to maintain the relationships. And in this season, especially in 2021, where relationships are so important. Relationships are so important. Some of us will walk through doors that we personally don't have the keys for, but it's somebody who we are connected to will have the keys. Relationships are important. They are an important factor in you coming into the fullness of your purpose. And many people don't understand that. And because they don't understand that, they go around and they feel like they can treat people as disposable. I was one of them who treat people as disposable. Me just walk and cut off, walk and dump. If me not feel like be a friend tomorrow, me just dump you. That's how I was. But that's not the godly way. That's not any way at all to navigate these spaces. So God brought me into covenant relationships, and let me tell you, if I did not do the groundwork and the foundational work, I couldn't survive. I couldn't survive in these friendships. And even when we come into these friendships, other layers of our interactions and our behaviors will come to light, because these are people who they won't just laugh with you and chill with you and hang with you. They will tell you when you're wrong. They will show you when you're wrong. They will show you when they will tell you when you're not treating them right. And it's not grounds for animosity, it's not grounds for hate. It's healthy interaction that helps you to grow. But the sad reality is many people can't. They can't function in these spaces. But what I want you to take away from this video is that relationships are important. Relationships are important. And I want us to take the time to really assess. I said this in another video. Assess your relationships. Assess your relationships. Do a friend audit. It's okay to remove people who aren't serving you or who aren't healthy for you, but you must do that in an honorable way. You must do that in a respectable way, because at the end of the day, we're dealing with people, God's people. God doesn't have favorites. Yeah, he doesn't have favorites. So we have to bear that in mind. We have to aim to be Christ-like in all things, in all relationships, in all activities, in all our pursuits. Aim to be Christ-like. Because believe it or not, people hear the scriptures, people hear the prayers, but there is a void when it comes to behavior and integrity. And we need to do the work. There's a lot of work to be done. And as I said in my other video, it's these little things. It's these little things that will cause a man to look at you and say, wow, what's different about you? And you will look at them and say, it is the Christ in me. So guys, I hope this video blessed you. If you're here, like, leave a comment, share your thoughts. Share the video with a friend who you think may need it. Just show some love. Let's show some love. I love the love that I've been receiving. I love the support that I've been receiving. And it is my hope that we can continue to grow and continue to learn together and just continue to have fun. So if you like this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And let's continue to grow together. I'll see you in the next video. It will be quite a treat.